Don't sleep on Tank Dell. Don't sleep on Jacobs. Don't sleep on Walker. Don't you dare think that Terry McLaurin can't be a top 12 wide receiver with Jaden Daniels as his quarterback. I'm tired of seeing these guys get discounted and discredited and shunned. And whenever I put a post up like Tank Dell's a glorious 4th to 5th round pick, I get, he's a 3rd wide receiver, Smitty. How can he be good? He's the 3rd wide receiver on the Texans, and you think he's going to be good? No, I don't think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be great.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live. One Tank Dell special, please. Coming right up.
Thank you.
Yes.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men. Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
Look at him. Look at him. This is a man that's going to take you to the promised land, and everybody that just keeps doubting this kid over and over and over, they're just trying to save face. They're trying to merely correct their wrong. Right their wrong from year past where they said, he's too small. He's too small, Smitty. He can't. Oh, wait. What, Ma? Oh, Ma's telling me that he was the leading yardage getter in FBS coming out of college. What, Ma? He was the top touchdown getter too? Ma's telling me he was one reception away from the Triple Crown. Yet people continue to say, oh, in the 4th round, it's just way too early. He's the 3rd wide receiver. He ain't doing nothing in round 4, Smitty.
One Tank Dell special, please. Coming right up.
Thank you.
Yes.
You should be thankful. I'm thankful. I know that. But you all should be thankful, and everybody should be ashamed of themselves for doubting Tank Dell on any level whatsoever. But because of said doubt, because of doubting Donnie, because of doubting Debbie, because of worried William and just completely anxious Angus out there spreading panic, massive panic, we're able to steal him away in round number 5 in home leagues, and I'm here for it. I'm very thankful. Not only that, but you're able to steal him away at the 4-5 turn in best ball drafts where people are borrowing wide receivers from rounds prior. 3rd round wide receivers going in round 2, it's blasphemy. 4th round wide receivers going in round 3, and I can get Tank Dell in round 4, meaning I'm into going Tyreek Hill running back and then running back in Tank Dell. Getting my Tyreek Hill, Tank Dell, and getting my double RB, my Kenneth or my Kyron Williams and my Achane in best ball. In home leagues, you got to take Kyron and Achane in the 2nd round. In best ball, you can get one in round 2, one in round 3. Your Tyreek Hill and your Tank Dell, and you're smashing. Tank Dell. Tank mother freaking Dell. Why are we hearing doubt at all? Is it because he got injured? Does anybody realize that he had taken over the wide receiver room essentially? Not that it wasn't still a 1A, 1B conversation. It very, very much was. But Tank Dell had taken over, and everybody agreed. It was like, yeah, Nico's great, okay? But Tank Dell, just a little bit higher. The rapport's there. once Stroud was drafted, he picked up the phone and said, hey, I need you to draft Tank Dell, and I need you to do it now. And the Texans said, yes, sir, we'll let you cook.
Let him cook.
And cook he did. Cook he did. Dell was a wide receiver 1. Dell was not a wide receiver 2. He was a wide receiver 1. Maybe he would have been of the low variety. I'm not saying he's number 4, number 5, number 6. Had Dell not got injured, he would have been a wide receiver 1. Not only entering this season, and he's not, which is great. We're all relishing in it. But he would have been statistically a wide receiver 1. I'm okay with what happened. Dell got injured, broke his leg. You would have broke your leg. I would have broke my leg. Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase or Tyreek Hill would have broke their leg. Just because Tank Dell broke his leg, and you've been complaining, Caleb, about him being too small, and the first moment an injury happens, you say, oh my God, everything I said might end up coming true, and I won't be an absolute buffoon. I'm going to throw more bad at this situation, continue to double down. I'm going to dig my hole deeper because guess what? I don't like being made a fool. And I made myself into a fool. I embarrassed myself by saying Tank Dell's too small. He's not going to do it as a rookie. He looks like garbage. And he made you look embarrassed. And now you're just digging your hole. I'm excited for it. CJ Stroud's going to the moon.
3, 2, 1, 0.
There's just no way this thing doesn't work out unless Dell gets hurt, which I'm not at all concerned about. This guy, you break his leg, can't hold him down. Shoot him in the leg, can't hold him down. He's out there looking magnificent in the preseason. We've already seen him slip 3-4 tackles to get into the end zone on a nice little dime pass by CJ Stroud, a guy in Stroud that's probably thrown for over 40 touchdowns. 40 touchdowns passing, and people are worried about whether Dell is going to have enough touchdown throws sent in his direction. I'm not worried at all. Tank Dell is a mother freaking Mars man for a reason.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men. Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
The next man on this list, and you see his face right there in the graphic, his name is Josh Jacobs, and you just saw him on said Mars Man as well. Let's go ahead and reference Mars Man Exhibit A one more time.
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
Well, what do you know?
Mars men.
What do you know? There he is. And
Loads.
This is not a new edition. It's not, we're reading the tea leaves late, or we're riding the late train express because, we're hearing good things. Or, Lloyd the rookie got banged up already. And this guy's being talked about now as getting some receiving work. No, you're late to the train. There's no more seats to get on. We don't sell any more tickets to this train. You can't even sit in the caboose, young man. This is a train that's left the station quite a while ago. We've been conducting it from the beginning. Jacobs is going to tear the league up in an offense in Green Bay that is going to throw the hell out of the football, and he's going to be a major benefactor in that said operation because Jacobs is the third down back. This has been said by the staff. There's no equivocation or stuttering in my voice that this man's going to be the third down back, the PPR monster, the guy hauling in 50-plus receptions in an offense that Aaron Jones has been pretty good in for a while. Yeah, things have changed. They have migrated some stuff here or there, but this is Jordan Love's show. And Jordan Love is going to choose Jacobs. Jordan Love is going to throw to Jacobs. Jordan Love is going to feed Jacobs. Jacobs is going to have 12-plus total touchdowns, 50-plus receptions, well over 1,000 yards, and who knows how many receiving yards. Maybe it's 400, maybe it's 450, maybe it's 350, maybe it's more than 450. All I know is he's going to be an electric back that's used on all 3 downs. He's an all 4-down back, essentially. This guy's going to be absolutely vital to the operation here in Green Bay that struggled to keep everybody healthy last year. Aaron Jones was cooking at the end of the year, something he's going to do all year long. He's a fresher version of Aaron Jones. He's ready to rumble. When Aaron Jones was rumbling, that's what you're going to see out of this guy. And he's going to be fed the mother flipping football. No one's taking him off the field. This guy, this rookie Lloyd, we like. Small hands, good prospect, but he can't even grab the number 2 job yet. And we know Dylan ain't taking nothing from Jacobs, not regularly anyway. And someone's got to spell him. We don't want him out there getting 500 touches. We need him to be spelled. Okay, so we can't freak out about any sort of, Dylan's looking good. Or, hey, Lloyd is going to maybe climb up and grab the two spot. This is a man that could be a top 10 running back in fantasy football. And it's just wild that people don't see it coming. It's wild that people think this is coming from a guy that has doubted Jacobs in the past, not because of necessarily him, although he did have a stint where he tried to fight all his fan base and he said he hates fantasy football, but we forgive him for that. I'm objective. I don't let bias creep into my advice. A guy that's avoid 1 year, which I was correct about. I was on the money with avoiding Jacobs last year in that current Vegas situation, which has me still avoiding Devontae Adams. We were right. We told you. We told you to avoid Jacobs last year. And now I'm telling you to get on the train. If you've got a ticket I gave to you earlier in the season, it is still valid. If you don't have a ticket and you try and get on this train,
him cook.
Well, we can still cook. But if you have a ticket, you get on this train. You may have not used it yet. You may not believed that you needed the ticket, but now you can use said ticket. But if you try and get on this train now and you don't have a ticket, if you're trying to get on late, we're taking away your Bijan card for even trying.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
This next man on the screen, his name is Skywalker, and he is a marvel. He is a player we've loved for a long time. He's actually a guy that made me create the first, Mars Man, Moon Man, Saturn Man list to begin with back his rookie year. We said to the moon before anybody. Everyone's copying it all the time. It's embarrassing. But we created the actual Moon Man list off of this man, Walker, because I constantly said as a prospect coming into the league that he was a space navigator. He open space on the field. He navigates it like no other. This is the best open space operator in the National Football League since really Marshall Faulk in a way. It doesn't mean that he's going to have Marshall Faulk's career. It doesn't mean that they can't screw it up like Pete Carroll has been screwing it up. I'm not saying that every player, they get the full talent out of the kid wherever the kid is. But this guy is in a Ryan Grubb system where they very much have interest in using one back. The verbiage and everything being said and coming out of camp and now the preseason is all about how Walker is a 3-down back. He's not somebody that's coming off the field. There isn't some sort of committee. There's no competition. There's no pole position or any kind of talk like that. It's literally this guy can be one of the most electric 3-down backs in the National Football League, and you're hearing that from Grubb and the staff. This is something we haven't quite heard in years past, and we've wanted to, and there's a real opportunity for this guy who was a Moon Man, obviously the generator of the list from the beginning. Last year he was as well, so 2 years in a row. He's back on the list again this year. And so he's I think the only person that's ever been on the list, the Moon Man list, every single year we've had it. And this is the year that we see him do what he did at the beginning of last year. Do you remember when we came in last year said draft Kenneth Walker, draft Kenneth Walker, draft Kenneth Walker. And he started hotter than almost any running back in the National Football League in terms of touchdowns. He was a touchdown machine the first month of football. And then I came in and I said, I don't think he's going to sustain this. I know this sounds really, really hard to hear, but we need to sell off Kenneth Walker. I don't think he's going to continue this trend. And I had people just absolutely out of their mind mad at me. How could you do this to me, Smitty? Because I'm an adjust and adapt analyst. Always will be. Every single one of these guys, we could be sitting at week 4, week 5, knocking on the door to week 6, and I could say, we're selling all of them. That's how we roll. This is how you win fantasy. You don't just dig your heels in to a preseason prediction, an offseason prediction, through thick and thin. No matter what the landscape looks like, you just dig in. No, it is not called flip-flopping. It's called adjusting and adapting. So Walker may have looked amazing walking into last year, and he played amazing, and we hit it out of the park. We smashed it out of the park. We didn't hit it out of the park. We smashed it out of the park. But I could smell it. I could smell it coming. The downfall of his season, I could smell coming. And I even said, let's sell him. Don't sell him away dirt cheap. You know, obviously, you're going to bank on him enough to not do that. But we need to sell him. And the next game, he had 100 yards. And I was like, oh, but then it started to go downhill. So it was the right move. I don't think we're going to be selling Kenny Walker, Skywalker, this year. I think this is going to be a season-long endeavor. I think Kenneth Walker is going to the mother flipping moon 17 weeks in a row.
Kenneth Skywalker. Kenneth Lightsaber swinging Skywalker.
Skywalker. You're either on board or you're not on board. You need to decide that for yourself right now. And then the last guy on this list right here, Terry Mother freaking McLaurin. We talk about this a lot on the channel. We talk about how Terry McLaurin is a doubted man. How he is constantly being talked about as if he's not as good as he used to be. He's not a top 10 potential wide receiver. I'm not saying I rank him 10. I'm not saying I rank him 11. I'm telling you that you draft this man well outside of the top 12 wide receivers, meaning you play in a 12-team league. He's not a wide receiver 1. You're drafting him as a second wide receiver probably for your team. If you're lucky later, depends on what kind of Bobs are in your league, how many grandmas are in your league. But this is a man fully capable of pulling a DJ Moore from last year, where DJ Moore, we knew for years he was amazing. We knew it, but we could never fully see him unlocked until he got a quarterback, and he got a quarterback last year, regardless of what the Bears think of him. Justin Fields unlocked DJ Moore, turned DJ Moore into wide receiver 6-7, depending on your format. And McLaurin, being a top 10 wide receiver, is not a tall order at all. You don't draft him there. I just said that. You don't take him in the top 12. I just said that. Don't take him as your wide receiver 1. I just said that. But the upside for McLaurin to be a top 12 wide receiver, which is a wide receiver 1, is extremely high with Jaden Daniels throwing him the football. Jaden Daniels is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL already. Smitty! He hasn't even thrown a snap yet in a regular season game. I don't care. I'm not here to wait around for things to be true and then tell you they're so. My job is to try and predict it, Peter. I'm not here to act like, oh, yeah, we saw that coming. We waited until it was actually happening before I said anything. My job is to predict it. Am I always right, Peter? No, I'm not. Petrified Peter. But what I'm telling you is that I believe Jaden Daniels is not only going to be one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the National Football League right from the jump. This guy throws missiles into into squares this big with a net on them, and the whole team celebrates. They do those exercise sit-up balls, bounce them in the end zone, and he's just throwing footballs, laser football passes straight into the bouncy ball at its height of its jump. It's amazing. This guy's timing is unreal. And he's going to turn McLaurin into the player McLaurin should have always been. And you can either watch from the sideline and doubt like a Donnie, like you love to do so much. Negative Noah sitting in the chat right now, trying to cook up negative comments over and over. Every single name I say, just don't listen to Smitty. Don't you listen to Smitty. McLaurin's not any good. JD5 can't read defenses. You do whatever you want. But all I know is JD5 is a 5. And you know what that means.
There are 2 5s? JD5, AR5? There can't be.
Oh no. They're gonna cross streams.
One Tank Dell special, please. Coming right up.
Thank you.
Yes.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
It's so funny how many negative people there are in this world that just sit and try and cook up negativity over and over and over and over. But that's okay. You know, sometimes people need a hug more than they need anything. Ain't that Devin dropping a $10 wad on screen like an absolute straight monster, says Smitty to the moon. You're going to the moon, pal.
To the moon.
Appreciate you dropping that wattage on screen. And and I see there's a little debate. I don't know what the origin of the debate was. I just see a little bit of chatter about fantasy being luck. There's a little bit of luck in it, but there's not as much luck as people like to make out. There's planning ahead. There's building your bench full of monsters and rising stars. It's having Jalen Wright on your team, or Trey Benson on your team, or a potential Jalen Warren on your team when injury strikes and you need them the most. And somebody says, oh yeah, you're lucky you had that running back step up. Injuries are a part of it. Staving off injuries it's easier than people think. This is the best injury channel, in my opinion, you're going to find on the internet, period, on YouTube, because not only do we know injuries like no one other, but we also have seen it applied for 23 plus years. I've been doing this 23 years, so I've seen ACL tears, hamstring injuries, ankle injuries, and watched 23 years worth of players react and adapt and adjust and try and play through these and not bounce back, and what the difference is between those that bounce back and those that didn't. Michael K. CPA coming in with a straight up wad, a 20 wad on screen. Michael K. CPA doing it live. Michael K. CPA is back. Sorry for being gone, was starting a new business, Smitty. Michael K. CPA, appreciate you with the $20 holler, pal. And this one's for you, broski.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
He's Michael K. CPA. I have his song somewhere. He's one of the only people here, aside from like Rock Out, that has their own song on this channel. And I can't seem to find it at the moment. I'm going to look for it, Michael. Here it is. Michael K.
He's Michael K. CPA. When you've got the bills to pay, Michael K. CPA. He is his day.
Appreciate you, Michael K. dropping the 20 watt on screen. The man, the myth, the legend is back. Michael K is here for yet another season. What a monster. Thank you for dropping the 20. Phone lines are open. If I haven't answered the phone line yet, I apologize. The phone line was not actually up. I didn't see it, so I'm sorry. Go ahead and dial in. Phone lines are open. Dial in, dial in, dial in. I'm here to answer all of your questions and smash your league with you this year. So let's ride. Dial in, dial in, dial in. Let's see here. I've got a few messages here from a few of you that I'm trying to pull up, but was having system problems. Silver Rapture in the building says CPA in the house. Everybody loves a little Michael CPA in the building. TM42, 40 plus TDs for Stroud. Absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's see here. 416 caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
I'm coming from Toronto, Canada, and my name's Phil.
Phil from Canada. What's up, Phil? What can I do for you?
Yeah, man. Just thinking about my fantasy league this year. It's a full PPR league, 2-man keeper. I got Gibbs and Brees. I want to keep them, but the commissioner is switching to a Superflex with an extra QB. Should I maybe trade Gibbs away for a stud quarterback?
And Superflex, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can start 2 QBs.
I mean,
so,
it depends on what QB you get, but he would not go before any of the top 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks. So,
well,
you know,
I was thinking Jalen Hurts because I also have A.J. Brown.
Good luck getting that. That's like saying, should I send a $20 bill on over for a $50 bill? I mean, you could certainly try it, but when you did the startup draft, where did Jalen Hurts go?
Jalen Hurts is on another team right now.
No, when you did the startup draft, where did Jalen Hurts get?
We haven't even drafted yet. This is not even drafting.
So
yet.
I don't understand the question then. Should you
Okay,
said should I trade Gibbs for Jalen Hurts is what you?
Well, I would trade Gibbs away for like a second-round pick. I could trade Gibbs for a second-round pick, which would land me.
Bro, you just
Allen.
said you haven't drafted yet, so it's a keeper. No. It's a keeper league. Okay.
Yes. So everybody has 2, man.
Okay, so you have
2
Gibbs.
players.
So you're trading away Gibbs for a. Okay, but my original question was, last year, where did Hurts go? Where did Mahomes go in the draft?
3rd round. It wasn't a Superflex league. We just switched.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. You know what's also awesome about this, bro, is that your league will not realize. They will not realize how valuable QBs are. Usually in a conversion, when you're converting the league over, and I do remember you saying at the beginning of the call, so my bad for not retaining that information. I had a few other things I was trying to deal with. There's a spammer in the chat too, but I would say the nice thing about this is your league, whenever you do a conversion from a 1 QB to a 2 QB, usually people do not have a good line on where quarterback should go. So
their value.
Yeah. So I think maybe you're right that you could probably trade Gibbs for a pick that could get you Hurts. If you could do that, do it in a millisecond. Because the bottom line is, if you did a startup draft right now, CJ and a few of you calling in, that's the other thing I was trying to work on. And I wasn't fully paying attention to you. For some reason, I think because you're calling from a Canada number, it won't allow anybody else to be added to the phone line. So I'm going to have to hang up on you in a second here. But basically, bro, I'm going to tell you that you're going to be able to probably pull this off because people don't understand the value of quarterback yet. You're converting the league over, and I think Hurts would smash. Hurts would be a top 2, 3 overall pick. Gibbs would be a second-round pick. So,
exactly. That's what I was thinking.
So call back in a second and see if I can add you to the call without.
Yeah.
All right, call back. I don't know why it's not.
All right. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, Smitty. You're rock.
All right. Somebody else tried calling in to get Phil or whoever was trying to call in. I don't know why it does that. I couldn't add anybody. It was driving me nuts. I wasn't fully even listening to him because I was trying to resolve this issue amongst 5 different other things. Hurts is a smash in Superflex. Anybody has a chance to ever get Hurts, Mahomes, or Josh Allen using players that, like, no offense, but Gibbs and those guys are going a whole round later. You got to take advantage of that. But hard to imagine that someone doesn't, even if you're converting the Superflex draft, you don't know that Hurts is worth more than Gibbs, though. I don't know how much you'd have to give up, if you're still listening, pal, to turn Gibbs into Hurts, but you give up a little bit more if you need to. CJ, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, I was just wondering if you could rank these late round wide receivers for me.
Okay.
Jalen Polk, Jahan Dotson, Michael Wilson, and Jerry Jeudy.
I'm not going to even rank Jeudy. I don't want him to waste my space here. I only got so much real estate on the screen. I'm going to say give me... Is this redraft Dynasty? You said Dynasty? CJ.
Just redraft.
Redraft. Okay. I'm going to say probably Mike Willie, then then probably...
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't see that. The stream's a little bit delayed.
I don't know what that guy's doing. You add him to the phone line, he starts talking. Polk, Dotson, Mike Willie. I'm probably going to say give me Mike Willie. I'm really intrigued by Michael Wilson this year. I think he's going to do really, really well in Arizona. He's looking hungry. This is a guy we talked about in M. Willie that could have been the Cardinals' lead wide receiver for the future. And it wasn't until they got into the sweepstakes of going with either Neighbors or Harrison Jr. that we started to downgrade M. Willie and talk about him as if he wasn't a potential dark horse, low-end wide receiver one in fantasy eventually. Like, keep in mind, there was a small period of time. People won't remember this very clearly, and foggy memories are always the case here with this type of stuff. But there was a small dynasty window of time where dynasty circles were like, Michael Wilson Jr. here, this guy could turn into a like high-end wide receiver 2, maybe a low-end wide receiver 1. Michael Pittman Jr. comes to mind when I start trying to think of like what heights he could have reached if he was not, competing with MHJ for targets. If the Cardinals had taken a different position, a non-wide receiver position, whatever, screwed up the draft, traded down, whatever, and M. Willie was the number 1, he could be Pittman Jr. talented and reach those heights in fantasy. So I'm going to definitely say M. Willie. Dotson's falling out of favor right now. Doesn't mean he can't roar back and take a hold of the number 2 job. He did really well last year, just didn't get fed the ball. Polk is interesting, but I'm going to say give me Dotson over Polk in redraft. In Dynasty, I'd go Polk over Dotson, though, and I'd go M. Willie across the board. All right, CJ. Call back if you got another one. All right, phone lines are open. Dial in. Good question. I mean, I like this. We might have, I'm not saying he'll be on the Moon Man list, but I kind of want to put like a deep call on the Moon Man list. We have a spot. I opened up a spot.
The Moon Man dropping loads.
This was Ramondre Stevenson. Doesn't mean we don't love Stevenson. He's on the revenge
Space
tour.
Moses.
He's on the revenge tour. See, Stevenson's right there in the bottom right.
The Moon Man
But
dropping loads in outer space.
I didn't feel the need to have him in both places, and this opens up a spot. I'm not saying M. Willie's going to grab that spot, but I'm very tempted to pull as deep of a Tank Dell call as I pulled out of my hat of tricks last year. I feel like M. Willie's qualified as one of the candidates at least, so we'll see what happens. 786 caller, you're live. Where are you calling from, and what is your name?
Hello, my name is Antonio. I'm calling from Miami, Florida. I just wanted to ask a question. My draft is starting.
I don't know what happened to that caller. 201 caller, you're live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What up, Smitty? This is Mike from Jersey.
Mike from Jersey. Other caller, call back. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on Colby Parkinson, the tight end from the Rams, and then Jordan Whittington, the receiver on the Rams?
Yeah.
deep in late best ball.
Yeah, not super interested in, Parkinson. I'm kind of, I guess, intrigued if, let's say, I'm looking at the tight end spot and I'm saying to myself, like, I screwed up. I need to grab somebody. This happens sometimes when you wait till the final round and you're looking at like Dawson Knox and Parkinson. You got a handful of options there. That makes me consider him. I guess as my third tight end, never my second tight end. There's too many other tight ends available that I like better. So I'm going to go ahead and say not a super big fan, especially in best ball where you can't really afford a lot of zeros. So it's not like those guys guarantee me much yet. And could they? Yes. Parkinson, I guess more so, but that's about where I stand on it. There's just other options. It's not that I don't think they could climb into my circle of trust, but right now I don't have them there. I think there's way too many other players that I personally. What?
All right, Smitty, who do you think at that value then? Who else would you take there? Because he's going like last round, like 17th, 18th round best ball.
Yeah, running back. I mean, sometimes I see a player like. It's tough. Let me go. We're talking like 200-ish territory.
Shipley.
Shipley's okay. He's okay. Bigsby's kind of coming around because there's a lot of hype behind him. Whether I really want to buy into it or not is still nice. So in the 200s, we're talking about Tank Bigsby, right around 207. Shipley 207. Roshan's pretty decent there. We'll see what Eric Gray can do as we move forward. I think Mason and Mitchell.
Eric Gray's interesting.
I think Jordan.
Tyrone Tracy just got healthy again, though, right?
Well, I mean, we'll see. Elijah Mitchell and Mason together is kind of a really intriguing best ball duo, if you want to. Yeah, but I would say my favorite player, he's a little higher. Ray Davis and Gore. You look at those two guys, just kind of monitor. Gore, you probably monitor on waivers. More, you got to Gore. You got to monitor on waivers in home leagues and such. You can't really pick him up yet. But I just can't envision James Cook starting the whole year for whatever reason. Call it a gut instinct. But Ray Davis and Frank Gore Jr. But my favorite pick right now, and it's a little higher than 200. It's about 170. Is Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen could win leagues. I hate to say that. I hate to say that in referencing a Breece Hall injury or something, but he could even be a outstanding flex play, even without an injury to Breece Hall. So that's what I'd say about that. All right, hey, call back, Mike, if you got another one. Appreciate you. 786 caller. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Antonio from Miami, Florida.
Oh,
I don't know what happened to the call earlier. But the question I was asking you earlier was, during drafts, should you handcuff running backs right off the rip or later throughout the year through waiver wires or trades?
Cuffs are not, there's no blanket way to describe handcuffing players. There's no way at all you can define it. I find it hilarious when someone comes to me or tells me, I heard from Bill, content creator Bill, it told me that you should never cuff. You should just take stabs at other people's backups. And then I've heard someone come in and say, should I cuff everybody? I hear you're the cuff master. Should I cuff everybody? And the answer is there's no answer to that. It's case by case, and that's why I developed the cuff board. And the cuff board has 5 scenarios that are must have. There's no negotiation. There's no argument. Someone comes in and tries to tell me, oh, I'd rather just draft. No, I'll dunk on you because these are the top 5 cuff situations that you must cuff. The rest of them are arguable. Like taking Algier when you have Bijan, it's not a must like it is for Connor Benson, for Mostert, Achane Wright, for Allen Hall, and especially Corman Kyron and McCaffrey and his backup, or both of them in the case that you draft McCaffrey. But these other ones are very arguable in case-by-case situations. If you're going to draft Algier because you have Bijan over a really good player that shouldn't have fallen that did, then you're making a huge mistake potentially. So there's not always a must-cuff situation other than the 4 or 5 identified spots that I've identified here, but it's always going to be case-by-case. And year to year, it's always different too. But you can't look at cuffs as a as a whole something you do or don't do, like all in, not all in. It's very much dependent on your team and the players we're talking about. These guys are absolute must-cuffs. So would I take Blake Corum at 120 overall, let's say, and that's where his ADP roughly is. Blake Corum's 121, and I see Jerome Ford sitting there at 121 and 122. It's really, really hard to pass on Jerome Ford because I love him. But if I've got Kyron, I am. And in the case of where, let's say, Algier's going around, let's see. Algier, what's all that noise, bro? You making a smoothie or what? What is that?
No, it's just I have a bad reception. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's right. It sounds like you're doing something, though. I don't think that's bad reception. It sounds like you're making a smoothie or... It's fine. I just was curious what we're doing. What we're making today. Algier, where's Algier's ADP? His ADP is right around Tyler Algier. It's going pretty high. So 144. Would I take Tyler Algier as a Bijan owner in best ball? Let's stick with best ball. Over Jalen Wright, who's going 1 or 2 spots below him. I'm taking Jalen Wright. I'm taking Jalen Wright over Tyler Algier, even as a Bijan owner. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
I mean, the upside of Wright is league winning, bro. Algier, it's okay. I'll do it if it fits. I'll draft him. All right, Antonio, call back. Call back if you got another one. Call back when you're what? You got another one, real quick?
No, I said thanks for your help. That answered a lot of my questions.
All right, later, bro.
Very,
Mo.
Very informative.
Mo from San Marcos. What's up, Mo?
What up, Smitty?
What's up, pal?
I had a question on how we feeling about Brock Bowers.
How we feeling about Brock Bowers? One of the best tight end prospects to ever grace our presence, and he's in a piss poor situation, but it could be one where he still gets fed a lot. I guess my answer is this. I think that at the right spot, I love him. So if we're talking about his ADP being right around 95 overall, I can't complain about that at all. I mean, you're talking about Goddard, Freiermuth, Schultz, Kmet. I'm smashing the hell out of that. If he climbs above Ingram or Kittle or 217 caller, I have to hang up on you because you got some background noise. You're playing the show in the background. It's creating a lot of reverb. Kittle, Pitts, those guys, you can't take them ahead of those guys in redraft. Are we talking dynasty or redraft?
Redraft.
Yeah, so as long as he's going after Ferguson, Ingram, Kittle, Pitts, Kincaid, obviously all those guys, Brock Bowers is probably the next guy after Ingram and Ferguson for me. And Njoku could be argued, Goddard could be argued, but at the end of the day, that's a smash. Bowers at 90 is insane. That's crazy. Like the equivalent of a wide receiver at 90 is Hopkins, Cortland Sutton, Romeo Dobbs. Like, if we're not taking a gamble on Bowers in that territory, what are we doing? You know, what are we doing?
Yeah, I was looking at the ADP too, and I was like, that's pretty low.
Now, Coleman's going in the 70s. Like, I'm not taking Bowers where Coleman is or where Worthy or Brian Thomas Jr. Like, hell no. But definitely, you know. All right, Mo. Appreciate you, bro.
Sure.
Later.
I appreciate you, Smitty.
217, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Eric from Illinois.
Eric, what's up, my guy? What can I do for you?
Hey, I'm in a 12-team full PPR ESPN league, and I was just seeing what your opinion was. I got the 5th pick. My draft's not for another 2 weeks, but is there ever a situation where you would go triple RB to start out your first 3 rounds?
Absolutely. I'm crazy. Now, I'm going to say this.
I've been. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that in a home league, like a non-best ball, it's so much easier to pull off. If you're in, and let me just say, I know you're talking home league, but let me just show for everybody watching, let me show what I mean. If we go in a best ball and we take Bijan, we take Kyron's the one that falls typically. The only thing is he's going kind of top of 3. So if we go top of 3 Kyron, kind of later Achane, we're probably not getting Bijan, but we could definitely get Jahmyr Gibbs. So let me find Gibbs real quick and put Gibbs up on the screen here. But Gibbs would be somebody that would definitely be doable in this scenario. So this is something I would do. The only problem in underdog best ball or any best ball format at all is that the wide receiver consumption is so crazy that you are going to be in a bind at wide receiver going triple RB. Could you go double RB? Yes. And I think that people are wild to suggest you can't, but it does matter best player available. So let's say we take Gibbs at the bottom of round 1. That means we get Achane and Kyron at the turn. In your specific home league, non-best ball, you're still getting Tank Dell easily with this pick. Easily. You might even get, probably not Debo, but you're getting players like that. Devontae Smith, Tank Dell, DK Metcalf. You're still going to get Worthy and Coleman as like wide receiver 3s and 4s. You're going to be loaded because but this is going to be harder to pull off in non-best ball because Kyron usually goes here and Achane usually goes here. So in non-best ball, you're unable to use these guys in the triple running back formation. So let's say we just get Kyron.
That was the only reason.
Yeah, if we get Kyron and let's say we go Jacobs, like this is doable, potentially, or maybe Achane's probably more doable at the end of 2 in a non-best ball, and then Jacobs, like, could you do this? Yeah, you could easily do this. The only thing I'm going to say, though, is the quarterback value, whether it's Mahomes or Hurts or Josh Allen, is just too great to pass up in a non-best ball for me. I'm taking Mahomes every time. Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts every time in round 3 over any of those guys. I love Jacobs, but I want Jacobs in 4. You can pull that off. I mean, you could even do this, bro. I mean, this would be kind of crazy, but you could go Mahomes in 3, Jacobs in 4, Achane and Gibbs in 1 and 2, and then try and figure out a way to get a wide receiver room. But you could grab like all the Green Bay guys. You have all the Green Bay guys. I mean, you're gonna do something with that. But personally, I would rather go this route. This would be my ideal strategy in a non-best ball if you were gonna go Gibbs. So, or you could do this. You could go Kyron. Let's say you had the 12 pick. Kyron and Achane, Mahomes or Hurts or whatever quarterback you're going to get with Tank Dell. I love that. In best ball, though, for anybody watching in best ball, you very much can take Achane here, Kyron here in round number 3, and Gibbs here, and then you're still getting Tank Dell. And in best ball, people have a problem with having one wide receiver through 4 rounds. I don't. I think this is a phenomenal start. I smash this all the time. And it's because Dell, to me, is a quality wide receiver 1 at this juncture in a draft. So it all depends. Best ball and non-best ball are so different. I got to go over those different scenarios. But from the 5 pick, your question was from the 5 pick. I'm sorry, I kept going on a tangent for everybody else. But let's say 5 pick. Let's say is Bijan going to be there for you at the 5 pick? You think in your draft?
Most times, yeah.
Okay. And Kyron, will he make it to the mid second for you, or Achane, one of them?
No, he Achane will make it to the 3rd on a lot of the mocks and stuff I've been doing.
Okay.
But
in your format, every format is so different. That's why I ask. So who would be your?
I've normally the way I've been mocking has been like Bijan, Etienne, Achane.
Yeah, see, Etienne I like, but he's not enough for me to go second round in this strategy. Like Etienne's, what's crazy is we're getting spoiled in best ball to see Etienne fall to round 4. 3, 4. And right. So it's hard for me to draft him in 2, but being objective, I still don't like it. I think I'd much rather go Debo. I'd much rather go MHJ. I'd much rather take a Josh Allen early than to go Etienne in round 2. I like Etienne a lot. It's hard to not give him. It's hard not to feel like you're disrespecting a guy that was running back 4 last year. but it's really, really hard for me to draft him in round 2 for whatever reason. But like this would be a fantastic approach. This allows you to maybe consider Jacobs in round 4. So if you want Bijan, Harrison, Achane, Jacobs, that's a 3 running backs in the first 4 rounds approach. I like that approach a lot. But yeah, I don't think I'd go ETN in round 2. What other running back could you get in round 2?
Derrick Henry and ETN is pretty much the only ones that are falling.
Yeah. 10-man or 12-man?
12.
6 points per TD pass?
No, 4.
Okay. And does Jalen Hurts fall to 4 a lot?
Yeah, he actually does, surprisingly. I've actually had it's either him or Mahomes. Allen never makes it, but him or Mahomes make it sometimes.
Okay. So my guess is that Mahomes will, on average, go higher or go more often. So if we throw Hurts in your fourth round spot, my advice is to grab, assuming the best player available approach is there for you. I would personally rather grab Bijan, Achane, Hurts, and go wide receiver round 2. And the guys that make sense for round 2 would be MHJ or potentially Debo. Like, bro, this is a smash right here. Kincaid's there in round 5. McBride's there in 5. I threw these Green Bay wide receivers around there just for a different video, but all that stuff is possible, man. This would be a home run start. Bijan, MHJ, Achane, Hurts, Kincaid. And if you don't want to go Kincaid here, you could go freaking Rashee Rice and Worthy at 5 and 6 if you wanted. Especially if you want Mahomes, it would be fun to have Mahomes, and you don't need stacking in non-best ball, but it still would be absolutely a blast to have Mahomes, Rashee Rice, and Worthy to go with Marvin Harrison Jr. and if you had Coleman and all of the chief wide receivers, you could even have just that. I would do it. That's the kind of craziness that I would deploy. Running back, Mahomes, and then all the KC receivers. I don't know. But that I'm crazy.
Right. One last question before I let you go. I know that you like stacks or whatever, but not
as much as
would you think that getting like a tight end and a wide receiver and the QB is too much? Like, for example, a McBride, Harrison.
You might have me pegged wrong. I don't like stacks. Not a non-best ball. They're okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're a detriment. A lot of people come from the best ball environment, swing over to the non-best ball, and they'd start drafting stacks. Like, I need to get the stack. The stack does nothing for you, and it's not optimal scoring. Like, you can screw it up, and there are some teams that I think stacking's fine. It's not a detriment. It doesn't hurt you at all, and sometimes it can help you in certain situations. Having the KC guys, they're gonna score so much. Having Coleman or Kincaid and Josh Allen, that's going to be amazing because they're going to score so much. And there's just teams that, like, I think what it comes down to is the quarterback, bro. You look at the quarterback and you look at Josh Allen, and he's the QB1, QB2, QB1, QB1, QB6, and back-to-back seasons. 608, can you mute, please? I got some background noise from you. So that's fantastic. That gives you the kind of consistency is going to feed the stack, right? You look at this situation, Mahomes, 7-1, 4-3, 8-1. That is consistency that's going to feed your stack. So it's all about, like, you draft Trevor Lawrence, and then all of a sudden you're going to see how stacking does not make sense. Even I would say Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, like, it's a fun stack in best ball. It's really good in non-best ball. I'm not saying it's bad by any means. We have it as one of the favorite stacks, but it can be a detriment sometimes when they start off slow for 3 straight weeks, and they've done that. So stacking is not advised as something you should be even thinking about. Only when you're on the clock and everything's equal should you be going, I can grab this stack. That will be fun to watch on Sundays. Like, that's it.
Right.
All right. Call back, Eric.
Thanks,
if you
Smitty.
got another one. Yeah, appreciate you. 608 caller, you're live. What is your name and where are you calling from?
This is Brad from Wisconsin. Just a quick question.
Yeah. What's up, Brad? What can I do for you?
I have a Dynasty startup draft coming Sunday, and I got the 6th pick. And I've always been doing double quarterbacks right off the rip. But I'm thinking about going like CD Lamb instead, maybe double receiver. Any advice on that?
So you're in
and then hitting like a Tua in the 3rd.
You're in the 6th spot in a Superflex.
Yep, startup.
Yeah, that I think you're gifted. My formula for winning a Superflex is, especially when you're gifted a top 6 pick, is to smash the quarterback position, punt the QB for a little while, for as long as you can, and target certain situations. And one is the Cousins and Penix situation. Pure gold as your QB2. The Fields and Russell Wilson. I don't want to say Russell's pure gold. I think Fields will be if he's starting, but that is such a safe combo that allows you to gamble on Fields. And if you're wrong, then at least you have Russell Wilson to be competent for you. But I think those are the better approaches. And even if you take Fields and Russ and you get in a redraft, let's say Fields and Russ, you get Penix Jr. on top of that. You grab a Rattler later. Those are fantastic. Bo Nix is one of my favorite second quarterbacks in an emergency setting where you miscalculate something. But you said yours is in a Dynasty startup, Superflex 1.6.
Yep.
Bro, I'm telling you,
And tight end premium.
nobody wants to draft Kirk Cousins. Nobody. He's a ticking time bomb. He's got an expiration date. And nobody wants to draft Penix Jr. high because he's not the starter. So I'm telling you, the win-a-league strategy in Superflex Dynasty is Penix Jr. and Kirk Cousins. You got to be very careful you don't miss on both of them. Grab that as your second quarterback. Grab your top 6 quarterback. And then in rounds 2, 3, 4, when half of the league at least is going QB, you're watching guys fall to second and third round territories that should not be there or that feel like they should not be there, and you're scooping them up.
So right off the rip at 1-6, you'd grab quarterback and then what, receiver in the 2nd? Or?
No, I'd go best player available of running back, wide receiver.
Best player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, broski. Call back.
Yeah, it's just tough.
I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, it depends. Like, can you get JD5 in round 2 and you want to go Lamb? I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay doing that, but JD5 might not fall. You might be very disappointed with your quarterback 1. I don't think you're going to be disappointed with your second round pick when you punt it and go QB in round 1. I think you're going to be very, very happy with whatever wide receiver or running back that lands in round 2. And you're going to say to yourself, that's not much different than CeeDee Lamb. And I got myself my QB, my QB1. Let's say you get Stroud. So you got Stroud and you got an amazing wide receiver 1 or running back 1 from the second round. You go running back or wide receiver or whatever in round 3, and you just play it by ear. You've got to make sure you know where Cousins is going to go, though, and Penix Jr. You might have to take him back to back, but you cannot mess it up. You need to get Cousins. You need to get Penix Jr. That combo is going to win you the league.
That's what's tough, too, in the Dynasty startups is when do you start going running back? Because I have a hard time taking the heavy hitters early. But then you get into a weird range of either older guys or they're 25.
Bro,
I don't know.
It's tough you know why it's hard for you. You know why it's hard for you. I can already tell because of something you said. But you're drafting positions. You're not drafting players. You're trying to draft positions. You can't draft positions. You got to draft. You ask yourself, bro. It's as simple as this, Brad. You're on the clock. Who is the best player available? It sounds so easy. Like you're not gonna. How is this? This is not logical, Smitty. We always draft the best player. No, you don't. A lot of you draft a position. Do I grab a wide receiver? Why would you grab a wide receiver? What if a running back is the best value on the board? So you got to ask yourself, Brad, every time you're on the clock, who is the biggest smash? And best player available does not mean who's the highest ranked player. It means who is the best player with your current situation, who you drafted the round prior. It manipulates the best player available the next pick. Like what course of action you take will change best player available. It's not just sitting there stagnant. So when you're on the clock, who's the best player available from this pick? It's a combination of who's got the lowest floor, highest ceiling, less risk, whatever. Who can win you the league? Is there somebody that could be the number one overall player at their position at this pick? I want that guy.
Brown?
I want that Chase Brown. I want that guy. Okay, so it's
Yep, I agree, man.
You do that, and you're not gonna. The only thing you're gonna have is a little anxiety if you're an anxious Angus, and you have like a wide receiver 3 vacancy because you went, tight end because it was the best player available, and now you don't have a wide receiver 3, and you panic and you destroy and dismantle your team and make it worse trying to balance it out or something. You gotta figure out how to fill that hole using sleeper mentalities, waiver wire, smashing, the content. All right, Brad, call back if you got another. I got to move on. Appreciate you. This one, right? Go to Mark Cleveland after this caller. 973. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey,
Christian from New Jersey.
Hey, Smitty. My name is Brandon, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Brandon, I got you already on queue. There's a new caller from New Jersey. 973. What is
Christian.
Christian, what is your
Yeah.
what's your question real quick?
My league switched format. They went to an extra flex and went from it's like a 12-man standard league to a PPR. And I usually take a quarterback in the third round. I got Josh Allen last year. I'm wondering, should I wait on quarterback and gobble up receivers and running backs, or should I still in the third round with the extra flex and the PPR?
It's not going super flex though?
No, it's not super flex. There's 2 receiver, 2 running back, and 2 flex.
2 receiver, 2 running
And
back, 2.
actually, the quarterback they get for a 50-yard touchdown. They get it's like a 6-point bonus. So you get the yardage plus 6 and then another 6.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change much for me. I'm still smashing. I love drafting QB round 3. It's such a difference maker. There's still the positions are stacked to the rafters. Doesn't mean I don't like Stroud if the price is right. I mean, there's certainly value like Jordan Love and Stroud downstream. Love JD5, but I'm still smashing the hell out of a Mahomes, a Hurts, or a Josh Allen, should they fall to round 3.
Third round.
Especially late round 3 or whatever. But I'm
the 4th pick.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. But could you punt it and get one of them in round 4 though? Is Hurts falling to round 4? Because if so, then that's the play.
No way.
Okay.
They'll never fall there. Stroud or one of those guys I might get in the 4th or 5th round.
So it sounds like all the quarterbacks are going early.
Lamar Jackson. I stole Lamar Jackson last year, in the 4th round.
Yeah, I'm very much okay with that. Very much okay with that.
And Spears or Chase Brown, 7th or 8th round. Which guy would you target?
Chase Brown, but depends who's available. But Chase Brown. All right, Christian, call back if you got another one. Appreciate you, man. I got to get through these super chats real quick. Mark Cleveland is up, and then I got to do some of these super chats. So the phone line, just everybody stay muted real quick. I'm coming for everybody on the phone line. Don't worry. I'll get to you. Mark Cleveland, super chat, $10 holler. I got all the super chats on the screen. Viral, Dan, Aldi, you guys all still here? Dan Tanner's got 2 of them. Aldi's got 1. Alex got 1. This one's from Nico. Viral has got a super chat. And E-Dub has got a super chat. I'm coming for you right after I answer Mark Cleveland's phone call and his super chat. $10 holler gets a moonshot. Mark Cleveland, appreciate you. My main man, Mark. He says Pickens and Zamir White for Chase Brown and Nico Collins. I would rather have Nico and Chase. Hold on. Pickens and Zamir White for Chase Brown for Nico Collins. Mark, can you clarify this? Because I think you mean and Nico, right? Chase Brown and Nico?
Nico and Chase.
Yeah, I'd take Chase Brown and Nico Collins in a millisecond over Zamir White and Pickens.
I know it took me all about 10 seconds to smash that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love Pickens, but Nico's going in the second round for a reason. I don't agree with his second round ADP. Doesn't mean I don't love him and understand why people are doing that. He's a fantastic player. If he was going around 4 and Tank Dell was going around 2, just being completely honest and being a realist, I'd be smashing Nico around 4 and avoiding Tank Dell around 2. But Tank Dell's the one going around 4, so he's the one around 4 or 5. So he's the one that's an absolute smash. Could everybody mute real quick? I got a lot of reverb in the background. And Mark, I don't know if it's just your phone, but Nico and Brown, easy call. Easy call.
Okay, the main reason I called was I got the 6th pick, and I think Brees Hall and B. John's going to fall, and Jefferson maybe, and I didn't know. It's a 3 wide receiver league redraft, so I was thinking about taking B. John right there.
Well, is it a 10-man or a 12-man?
12.
Okay, so I'm in a 12er, and I went running back, and I still got Debo in 3 and Dell in 4 in that particular league. So going running back doesn't scare me. So essentially, Bijan at 1.6 doesn't scare me.
You like him at the 6 over Amon-Ra, Jefferson. Some of them might be there.
I mean, I take Bijan at 1 or 2. So yeah, smash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that second pick is the one that's been bugging me because I don't really want to take Drake because he's on the Falcons too. And Harrison probably won't be there. And I think most of the good running backs will be gone.
I mean, Debo's
ETN.
a great second rounder if you want to, grab him. But Kyron Achane, Debo, those are my favorite. Marvin Harrison Jr., my favorite second round picks, essentially. Barkley.
I wish Harrison would fall.
Yeah.
But that's mainly what I was asking.
Mark Cleveland. All right, you can stay on mute if you want. If you have another question, I'll come back to you, or you can call back. Whatever you want, Mark.
All right, thank you, sir.
Mark to the moon. Mark to
the
Mark,
moon.
Please report to the moon. Mark, you there?
Yes, sir.
Are you in the Marsman? You're in the Marsman League, right?
Yeah.
Are you? Do you know?
When did you say we drafting that?
Yeah. So the Moonman Marsman draft is, just for anybody that doesn't know, it's August 24th at 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay.
Okay, buddy. That sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
Mark Cleveland to the motherfreaking moon. All right. Hold or call back, your choice. Appreciate you. Viral with the $4.99 says, "Hey Smitty, got a problem. Someone in my league caught on to Coleman. Can I grab him early 6th round? I'm okay anywhere as your 6th drafted player. Do not take him in 5, Viral. But don't force it. Make sure that there aren't just better players available. You can't have everybody in every league, and don't force things. But early round 6, I don't hate it, but it's pushing it considering his ADP. $10 hauler
to the moon.
From Dan. Dan, appreciate you. Dan says, "Hey, bro, always was a Martavis Bryant fan, especially as a rookie. He hasn't played since 2018 and is now old as hell. Anything now at 32 with 85 logic tells me no, but curious." Yeah, look, he's Martavis Bryant. There have rarely ever been players that have taken 1 or 2 years off. Look how we haven't seen really fully bounce back. Deshaun Watson hasn't fully bounced back. Josh Gordon could never, get back his groove. Ricky Williams and Michael Vick are really, and those are old school. Like, we can't even use those examples because they're so back in the day when football was different, and you can't really extrapolate that. When we talk about runners playing really well at 30 years old that were workhorses, not Mostert, who got a lot of his body saved and then did something at the end of his career, or the one outlier, Derrick Henry. We have no 30-year-old running backs that had a workhorse role their entire career that are still balling at 30 years old. So you can't use the olden days. Oh, Emmitt Smith did it, or so-and-so did it. Honestly, bro, I'm not going near Martavis Bryant. It's a good question. I'm sure a lot of people wonder that. Dan, appreciate you dropping that wad on screen, my guy. Aldi with a $2 hauler, Fields at QB3 or Warren at running back 3, Superflex Dynasty startup. You probably got to go Fields in a Superflex. I mean, if you feel pretty good, I don't know who you said I don't think you said who your QB 2 and 1 were. I guess that would depend if you had like 2 really good options, but it does not hurt to go QB here, and you'll probably still get a really good RB3. You know, you'll probably still be very happy with that choice. I would say like Warren and Bo Nix is better than Fields maybe, and whoever else you end up getting, but I think Fields is damn good at that point. Got my MCAT tomorrow. Send me to the moon. Alec?
To the moon.
We'll go to Saturn.
To Saturn.
MCAT, congrats. Good job. Go tear it up. Appreciate you, Alec. Alec to the mother freaking moon. Nico. Alec, you still here? Dan's still here. I know Dan's here. Who else is here from? I'm reading these super chats. I'm sorry I'm a little late on a couple of these. Nico, you still here, pal? Nico to the moon. Appreciate your $10 holler. Moonshot for the $10 holler, my boy. Nico says, hey, Smitty, I'm wondering what your take is on drafting late this year. Brandon from Wisconsin, I'm going to put you on hold. Please mute yourself, Brandon. Please mute. I'm wondering what your take is on drafting late this year. I have the 9 pick. Brandon, please mute, pal. I have the pick 9, and I'm considering going running back. Do you have any go-to picks or strategy for drafting in the back this year? 9 pick, I mean, it's just simple as best player. I wish I could give you like a formula, but it would be a disservice to you. But I'm tending to love running back in home leagues, non-best ball in that 9 slot. So running back. I'm considering going running back. I wouldn't necessarily lock myself into anything either, though. You know, what if Debo's the best pick in round 2, as we just mocked up? And going running back in a non-best ball is a lot easier than in a best ball. But I do go running back in best ball all the time, and it's blasphemy to people, but I do it all the time. But triple RB's harder. But if you think you can get a Tank Dell and a Devontae Smith, a DK Metcalf and a Tank Dell, then you're going to crush going RB. I still have some background noise, guys. Can you please, all 4 of you, please mute? Someone is pretending to mute and not muting. So, please, or I'll just hang up the entire phone line and answer one at a time. Thank you. Appreciate you, Nico, for dropping this. But as far as like picks to grab, I'm going Gibbs, who's falling now into round 2. Kyren and Gibbs is a fantastic 1-2 punch. Something you couldn't really do before Gibbs' value dropped, right? Now you can do both of those in a non-best ball home league. I love Achane. If you could go Gibbs, Kyren, Achane, I'm smashing those 3 RBs, and I'll figure out the rest. I'll draft all the KC wide receivers with Mahomes, and I'll even go Mahomes in round 4 if he was to fall. That's how much I love the RB Mahomes, and willing to do that. So fantastic balls. Put your balls on the table, pal. That's how you execute Operation Balls on the Table. E-Dub, $5 hauler. Thanks for a great show. Can you please issue me a Kyren card? I will look into the Kyren cards. They probably are coming, so hang tight on those. All my super chats are answered. Please send more, and I'll answer them in order in which they're received, and I will get to them right away. Apologize for the slight delay on that. Let me go around, see who. Steven, please mute yourself. Gage from Pennsylvania is up. Then I'm going to go to Sean, then Brandon from New Jersey, then Brad, and then Steven. So go ahead, Gage from Pennsylvania. Please, everybody else, stay muted.
Hey, I think I pretty much smashed my fantasy league this year.
You let me determine
days ago. I want to get your thoughts on my flex position.
Okay.
So for my flex position, I have a few options each week. I have Tank Dell, Jaden Reed, and Rashid Rice. I was wondering if I should just pull names out of a hat and just see who's starting each week.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea, bro. Just pull names out of a hat. Sean, why don't you just auto pick? Why don't you just set your team on auto draft and walk in? Why even draft? Put a blindfold on. Where did you draft Tank Dell?
I got him in the 6th.
Okay, where did you draft Jaden Reed?
I got him in the 8th.
Okay, and where did you draft the other? Rashid Rice.
Rashid Rice, I got him in the in the 7th.
Okay, so 7, 8, and 6. What is the best number?
Tank Dell, which would be 6.
Yeah, that's probably it. Probably it.
Okay, and then
that will be $25.
What's it?
I said I'm charging that. That will be $25 for that sound logical advice. Okay, what's the next question, bro?
I drafted AR5 and JD5. The 5, they're pretty much interchangeable. And should I pull names I have for that as well?
Sean, I don't know if you're trolling or
finish him. Call terminated.
Who was that? Was that Sean or Gage? That was Gage. That was Gage, right? I keep calling him Sean. Gage, do you pull names out of a hat all the time?
Only for the 2-5.
Finish him.
Sean, call back. I actually hung up on Sean. Thought I was talking to Sean. Brandon from New Jersey. Sean, call back. I'm sorry.
Eddie, what's up, man? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good deal. So I'm picking 8 of a 12-team league, and I'm going to be sticking to an RB strategy with my first and second pick if Amon-Ra doesn't fall to me. So that's the background, right? My question to you is, what is your hard order of RBs? They give it 6 RBs, 1 to 6, outside of CMC and Bijan that I got to stick to with that plan.
I mean, you don't stick to anything. You got to go best player available. I mean, you can't just.
What's your best 1 to 6 available after CMC, John?
Okay, so after Bijan, it's going to be, for me, Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs, personally Kyren, if we're talking a home league and not best ball, because in best ball you can easily get Kyren later, which is just ridiculous and almost borderline stupid, but Barkley is right there. JT and Barkley are pretty damn close, but for me, Kyren, it'd go Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyren, and then Barkley, Kyren, JT. Those are all very, very close. Those are my guys. Those are the guys I'm only considering in round 2. But it doesn't mean that I don't consider like a MHJ or a Deebo Samuel or a London in between there, depending on how I feel like the running backs will fall and the wide receivers will fall in this league.
And do you like Pacheco over ATN?
ETN?
Yeah.
I think Pacheco a little bit more than ETN, but not in round 2.
Okay. Got it. Okay, cool. Thank you, man.
But make sure you don't lock yourself in, bro. You want to make sure you give yourself a little flexibility. Who am I talking to? Is this Brandon?
Yes, sir.
All right, Brandon.
This is Sean.
No. All right, Brandon. Appreciate you. Later. All right, Sean, go ahead. I didn't mean to hang up on you, Sean. What's up?
It's all right. I understand. I'm running into a problem. My dog's barking. I'm running into a problem with if I pick A-Chain in 2, it seems like Mostert's going early. Like, is that okay? Just wait on right.
I honestly,
are taking Mostert in like round 5, rounds. Like I like getting Kincaid and maybe Keon in 6, and he's
That's
going.
tough.
And I'm like, what the freaking hell?
That's tough, bro.
What's the earliest you would go on Mostert?
Let's see. Let me pull up a draft here and just take a gander at it. This one's well underway, so let me see where. So Mostert, and this is a best ball draft, and running backs go a lot later, so I'm going to keep that into account, but I just want to get a feel for where he went in this draft. So he went number 8, round 8. So if I was to climb up to round 6 and look at those players, you're looking at Monty, Kamara, but then again, those guys might go higher too because this is best ball. Give me about 4 or 5 guys, 2 or 3 receivers, 2 or 3 running backs that are going right where you're seeing Mostert go in your format, because every format's a little different. Every league management software is a little different. So so I'll tell you.
Trying to remember, I like I couldn't tell you. I just know he's going like
Well,
around
look,
five,
like
five
try
or
it.
six.
Try it. Can
and
you
there's
look
a
it
lot
up?
of people that I like before him.
Okay, so give me some names, and I'll tell you whether Smitty approved those names over. So let's say you take Achane. Achane is you've drafted him. Okay, and I'm not scared to draft him over this dilemma. So now, are we deciding between Mostert and give me some names?
There's I know for a fact like Kincaid and McBride were there around this area because I was in one last night. I know those two, and I'd rather have those two.
I'd rather have those guys.
Okay, I mean that's good. That was my dilemma, and then there was a couple wide receivers. Like I think Tank Dell slipped was around there in 4 because he's been going later in a lot of the ones I've been in, and I'd rather have Tank Dell.
I don't see Mostert going near Tank Dell, but maybe in your format.
Some of these guys think he's like from last year.
It's so
they're
weird.
Sniping him early.
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, you can't take Mostert that high. So yeah,
What's the earliest you would go with Mostert?
In your format, like around, like am I taking Mostert over Godwin? Over Godwin in your situation? Yes. Would I take Mostert over Hollywood, McConkey, Deontay Johnson, JSN, Dunze, Aaron Jones, Najee? Yes, I would in your situation. So those players, that seems to be about round 6.5, maybe 7. But yeah, if he's going in early 5, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. You got to let it. You got to let him go. Maybe you try and trade for him after the draft, and when somebody starts realizing Achane's a monster.
And you think that if Achane gets dinged up or something, then it would be with Wright and Mostert. That Wright would just fill that role.
Well, I mean, no. If I mean, you need all 3 to really solidify it. But I'm okay with not grabbing all 3 if it means you're grabbing a Kincaid, McBride, or Dell. So the answer is you got to be on the clock, bro. I just did a draft right now where Mostert went around like 7. So, and that's a non-best ball draft. So I can't tell you that that what you're saying is accurate for a lot of people. It sounds a little wild, but it could be just your league. It could be your Yahoo, ESPN, CBS. They're all slightly different non-best ball ADP suggested ranks, and sometimes the mock draft is not accurate, bro. Like you have this information and you have it in your head that he's going here, but the mock draft data, the suggested rank is BS. It's going off of last year, and it's a ghost town. Mock draft platforms are ghost towns right now. So you're just seeing ADP data regurgitated back in. People join. You got Steve, this kid in his mom's basement, waiting for the meatloaf, and he's doing draft after draft after draft and quitting after round 4 because he's not patient. He's a little impatient kid. And he's jumping out in round 4 and 5, and you said the computer continuously taking over his teams and drafting bad data upon bad data upon bad data, and you don't have really good drafters either doing mock drafts. Ask me how many mock drafts have I done this year? Ask me, I'll answer.
How many?
Probably 2. This is a channel that used to do 5-6 mock drafts an evening on this channel live. I have done 2 all year. My point is, I've been ripped from the mock draft pool. You know, Travis, how many mock drafts have you done? Travis would probably say, I don't know, maybe 4, 3. Travis has been ripped from the mock draft pool. So many quality drafters, if you imagine that at scale, have been ripped from the mock drafting pool because they're drafting real drafts. $3, $5. Yeah, it adds up. I'm not saying everybody can afford that, but real ballers that draft constantly, that are embedded in this thing, they look at it like, hey, I can do a $3 draft, mock draft, but really get paid and win maybe even $50,000 on this said mock draft. So the mock draft data the ADPs are driven off of is garbage. It's just garbage. And it just because Mostert's recommended off last year to go in round 5 doesn't mean he's really going to go there. But I will tell you this too, though. A lot of unknown drafters, guys that are not versed in this stuff, and they come swinging in July and August and start cram sessioning because they don't know football. They are going to be very influenced by the suggested rank. So it definitely will have influence, but it doesn't mean he won't sit at the top of the suggested rank for 4 or 5 picks and then get taken. So it's tough to say, bro. But yeah, Mostert probably going earlier in your draft, but you're gonna have to let it go.
Which KC receiver do you like the best out of Worthy, Rashee Rice?
Rashee Rice right now.
Do you have an answer?
Rashee Rice, because I don't think they're gonna. I think the suspension's coming. He's not getting away with it, but it's gonna be pushed into 2025. Or it happens at the very end
so you
of the
like
season.
him better than Worthy?
A little bit. I love them all. I want all 3.
All right.
All right, gotta go. Later, bro.
All right.
Sean to the moon.
Thank you. Bye.
Steven, you're live, Steven.
Hey, Smitty, how you doing today?
What's up, pal?
I just wanted to ask you a question on this trade right now. Who do you think wins this trade?
All right, hit me with it.
All right, so I got Jacobs and Scary Terry. And then DK and Swift. Who do you think wins this trade?
Jacobs and Terry and Swift and who?
Yeah. DK.
Oh, that's tough because DK I have is probably the highest ranked player in the deal. Jacobs is not far behind him. I have Scary Terry way over Swift. I'm not a big believer in Swift at all this year. I think Jacobs and Terry wins, but it's definitely close because I love DK a lot. And if Swift does produce at all, can you mute yourself, Byron? And turn down the show in the background or whatever. Swift and DK is going to be all dependent on Swift. If Swift can actually be productive and prove me wrong, then this side's going to win. But because I don't believe in Swift, because I think Terry's not that far off DK, he will be behind him. But Scary Terry, as I alluded to at the top of the show, one of the most underrated, don't sleep on these players situations, and I love Terry. And because Jacobs is also on this list, you know that I love this side just a little bit more. These are 2 monsters for me. So Jacobs, Terry.
All right, thank you, Swifty.
Swifty?
Smitty.
Did you just call me Swifty? All right. We'll see you later, Steven. Later, Stevie. Just call me Swifty. Later, Swifty. Oh, bro. Brad, you're live. What is in the phone?
Dude? I'm back.
What is in the phone line tonight? What can I do for you, Brad?
You there, Smitty?
Yeah, Swifty's here.
One more question on the 1.6 for the Dynasty startup.
Yeah, I guess. What's the question?
Okay, my thing is I know you're Arizona guy. Marvin Harrison Jr. I know he's at the end of the first round in a Dynasty startup. Where is he going to be? Like, how crazy is it to take him over a CD or a Jamar Chase? Is he going to be comparable, or is he just let him go and take the safer option?
I mean, I'd probably take Lamb over MHJ right now, but this is a predictive statement, and I say it all the time. I think MHJ will be my number 1 Dynasty wide receiver entering 2025. But that said, you still have this year to play for. You still have the fact that, like, are they tied maybe? Are Lamb and him tied? Lamb is such a monster, bro. I think you'd be crazy to not take advantage of Lamb right now and just say, you know what, I'm doing multiple leagues. I'll get my shares of MHJ. I don't need to force it. I think Lamb is the call. But I certainly don't think you're crazy at all for contemplating it.
Yeah, because I mean, he's a huge prospect and whatnot. Next year he could be just as good as the other guys and younger. So I was just stewing it over if it might be worth it long term.
You got to. I think at some point you got to be logical with it. You got to say things like when I say MHJ is my number 1 wide receiver walking into 2025. That is a ranking. Like, just when I say Kyron Williams is going to be, I think, the 1, 2, or 3 overall running back, am I taking him there? No. So it's a expectation, but you got to draft around ADP to the best of your ability. So Lamb is the guy. You can't draft MHJ over Lamb, but maybe you can get both of them in some trade. You know, that would be great.
All right, just wanted your opinion. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, all right, later. Let me get these super chats out of the way. Then I'm going to come for Belichick yourself, Donnie Bravo. No, Byron first. Byron, then Belichick yourself, then Donnie Bravo, then Viral, and then last will be Mike from Jersey. Mike, mute yourself if you could. I'll be right with you, pal. So hang tight. These super chats. Viral says, who do you like the most? Scary Terry, Pickens, Thomas Jr., or Coleman? Man. I'd probably say Scary Terry for redraft, but I'm hopeful Coleman and Pickens and Thomas Jr. can prove me wrong. I love all these guys. I think from a long-term perspective, it's Coleman, Thomas Jr., Pickens, Scary Terry, because Scary Terry's older. From a redraft perspective, it's Scary Terry, Coleman, or no, Scary Terry, probably Pickens, Coleman, Thomas Jr., but I think the way I would describe this is that I would be very intrigued by passing on Pickens at his ADP, taking like Jacobs or an RB or a quarterback or Kincaid or McBride, and then taking Coleman instead of Pickens, but getting him later at cost of entry. So if that makes sense and why it might not jive with my Coleman hype, it's because my Coleman hype is protected into his ADP. I'm being smart about it. Like, that's the part when we do a draft and everybody snipes everybody. They don't use the logic of, hey, this expectation that Smitty has or that we all have of this player, Coleman, it needs to be protected into the ADP. And if you start reaching outside of the ADP to the degree where you're drafting him at the high expectation level, you're kicking yourself right in the nutsack over and over and over. And that's why some of our drafts, we look like a bunch of imbeciles, even though we're the best drafting community on the planet. We are the best drafting community on the planet, but when we get into a room together, everybody starts stepping on one another, and I don't think if there was a rush to get out of a building, we'd make it out. We'd stomple everybody because no one's looking out for one another. We're just ruining the ADPs, which is why when I draft at night going forward, I'm probably 90% of the time going to do it without anybody in the room because I don't want to continue to perpetuate sniping in my examples. And really, honestly, there's 4 or 5 of you that get into the draft, and then there's thousands and thousands, sometimes a 5 to 10,000 view video that they're just watching this horrible draft, and it's not useful to anybody. We need to stop sniping. We need to stop sniping. You need to be careful. You need to use ADP. Don't draft off ADP. Use it to your advantage and destroy your league. Belichick yourself, A.J. Brown or Stevenson for MHJ Pacheco. A.J. Brown and Stevenson. Belichick yourself, you're on the line real quick. Just briefly, because I got to get this other super chat too. A.J. Brown and Stevenson for MHJ and Pacheco. Is this dynasty or redraft?
Yeah, it's redraft.
I'm still going to say smash MHJ Pacheco. The reason I say this is MHJ and A.J. Brown are arguable. Of course, we're going to draft A.J. Brown ahead of MHJ, but MHJ has something to say about, even in redraft, he's going to have something to say about that, who's scoring more this year as a rookie. And Pacheco, as much as I do love Stevenson as a revenge tour guy, Pacheco is second, third round capable in non-best ball. He's third, fourth round capable in best ball, and Stevenson's nowhere near that territory. So this is an easy call. MHJ Pacheco in redraft, and it would be triple times the confidence in Dynasty. Easy.
That's exactly what I was thinking, bro.
All right, if you got another question, all right, go back on mute. I'll come back to you. That's all you got?
Nah, I'll go back on mute.
Okay, yeah, if you think something else, I'll come back to you. Jonathan with a $5 hauler. Dynasty Superflex got offered Daniel Jones and Rashee Rice for Bryce Young and Jameson Williams. I hate these trades. These trades are the kind of trades that make both teams worse. It's like, take this and I'll take this, and then boom, you both absolutely have worse teams. I don't know what I think of Bryce Young. I really don't. I don't like Daniel Jones, though. I love Jameson Williams, but I like Rashee Rice a little more. Then again, Rashee Rice is going to face a suspension next year, most likely, or this year. I don't think he skates beyond this. I think we've already gotten word that he's going to get half a year. I'm going to go Jameson Williams and Bryce Young in hopes that Bryce Young's much better and has long-term value, whereas Daniel Jones doesn't. And Jameson's getting better and better, and the suspension, you gotta account for it. So I'm gonna say give me the Jameson side, but I don't like it, bro. I'm not Smitty even approving it. I feel like both trades make you worse, and I can't condone that kind of behavior on the channel. Joel with a super chat, Alec with a super chat, and K Woods with a super chat. Let me get these three out of the way. Joel says, Smitty, you the number one sniper, grabbing 2 QBs 1 through 4. I don't know what you're talking about. Grabbing 2 QBs 1 through 4. First of all, I would never draft a QB in round 1. So I don't know what in the heck you mean. 1 through 4. I don't know what you're talking about. Superflex, I draft. Sure. That doesn't mean you're a sniper. Alec, appreciate you. $5 haul. 12-man PPR home league. Assuming no A.J. Brown, should I take Gibbs at 1.9 over J.J. and Wilson? Wilson's probably the safest out of the crew there. But if you want to go RB, Gibbs still is top 10 to me. No doubt about it. I'm not worried about this hamstring injury. I'm going to try and take advantage of it, Alec. I'm going to try and take advantage of his top of second round value, but I don't think he's going to fall in a lot of cases. So I'm not scared to go Gibbs there. He could be a top 1 to 5, not top 5, top 1 to 5 running back. But I think Garrett Wilson's safer, but maybe Gibbs is more upside. Got Hurts, Hurts Superflex stack. Got Hurts, or is it? Okay, got Hurts Superflex stack with AJ Brown, or get Gibbs with the next pick. I would take AJ Brown, and I would see if Gibbs would fall. It probably won't fall enough, but I would definitely say AJ Brown and Hurts is pretty damn good. If it's non-best ball though, the stack doesn't really do anything. But I still think AJ Brown is a safer pick than Gibbs right now. But they're damn close. It doesn't mean I wouldn't, on a whim, say give me Gibbs over AJ Brown. I could crush wide receiver in this league. So K Woods, you got to know your league. If your league will allow you to get Debo in 3 and Tank Dell in 5, and whatever, then you got to consider that, and that should guide you and dictate what you do. You know what I'm saying? So much depends on that. Joel, Smitty being real quiet. I don't know what that means either, Kentucky boy. You guys are throwing some wild ones at me today. I can't even digest some of this. Let's go back over to Bella. Or I already got to Bella. Check yourself. I'll come back to you in a second, pal. Donnie Bravo, then Viral, then Mike. Donnie, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, how you doing?
Good. How you doing? Isaac.
Hey, so I got my draft coming in a couple weeks. I got the second pick, ESPN 10 team. I'm looking to draft CD as my first pick. If it falls to me. For round 2, just need some thoughts on if I should shoot for Achan or ETN.
Achan for me. Achan for me. Achan all the way. Achan's a top 12 overall player to me. ETN is a third rounder to me. I could understand why people take him in round 2 in a home league because the running backs fly off the board, but I very, very much.
Yeah, because Achan falls, further than ETN, so I honestly do not mind getting Achan either. But would you put Kyron over Achan?
Yes, I personally would.
Okay.
But I love both of them.
And then I'm thinking about getting Laporta in the 3rd, and then for the 4th, what is on the board usually is like Debo, Devonta, or DJ Moore.
Everybody's leagues are so different. Like Debo won't go past 14, 15 overall in a best ball draft. Debo won't go past round 3 in some formats, non-best ball. And then Debo goes in 4 or 5, and it's wild. It's so hard to give people legit, like straightforward content advice, like without attaching rounds to it with all the diversity. It's so wild. But one thing I don't like what you said is you're going to go Laporta in round 3 as if it's done. Like there's so much opportunity to take advantage of amazing player values in round 3, and you get Kincaid in 4, or in your league, maybe 5, I'm taking Kincaid 2 rounds past Laporta every time. Laporta's a waste of a pick in the 3rd round if Kincaid or McBride are sitting there at 5. Like you're getting maybe the same tight end, if not maybe even better. Like I love Laporta. I love Laporta, but taking him in 3 seems like a big waste of an opportunity in an environment where I think you're smashing everybody and knocking them around because they don't know player values at all.
So who do you like in round 3? Do you like Josh Jacobs or
Debo,
Olave?
Achane, Olave's great in round 3. He's kind of a second rounder. Debo's fantastic in 3. You think you get him at 4? Great. Quarterback, Mahomes, Hurts, Josh Allen in 3 would be a home run especially over Laporta. Because you could get Josh Allen in 3, maybe he goes in 2. I don't know your format. But Josh, it sounds like your league, everyone takes quarterbacks in the 1st round, and there's a 1 QB. But that's okay. We all have leagues like that. I'm not trying to make fun of your league. I'm just saying, like, you could get away with a lot. Like, you're going to crush your league mates. I like these leagues, bro. I'm not making fun of them. I want more of them. You should enjoy and relish. Like, I'm in Miss Smitty's work league. I don't know what that's going to look like either. I do that every year. I can't wait. But don't think I'm knocking your league necessarily. I'm knocking your league again because of they're facing you. You're going to be armed and ready to take them all down. But I just think that you can get one of those quarterbacks in round 3. Why mess around with Laporta in round 3? He's so overdrafted. You cannot take Laporta in 3 when you can get maybe the tight end 1 or 2 or 3 in Kincaid or McBride in round 5.
Right. So it seems like you really do like Debo. I like Debo as well. If Devonta and DJ Moore are in round 4, which one do you like out of those 2?
Debo is a second rounder to me, bro. So
yeah. So he would probably be like my 3rd or 4th if I can get like a QB. But like say he's still on the board and Devonta and DJ Moore are there. Which one do you like out of those?
Devontae Smith.
Devonta. You like Josh Jacobs too, or no?
Love him. I mean,
okay.
He's we talked about it at the top of the show. Yeah, watch the beginning of the show because we talk about how Jacobs is an absolute smash this year. But you got to take him in the right spot, and it sounds like you would be taking him in the right spot.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me not take too much time. Thank you, Smitty. Appreciate your help.
Who is this, Donnie? Or is this Donnie?
Yeah.
Donnie. Donnie, call in more. We haven't seen you in a while, so call in.
I know. I had a kid and everything, so yeah, I just tuned into the show, and now I'm getting back into fantasy. But
boy.
Hello, I missed the show.
Congrats. We'll see you calling more often. All right, later.
All right, bye.
Viral, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, you pretty much already answered my question just about the Keon Coleman situation.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I get what you said. Like, I'm taking a Jalen Warren, George Pickens, those guys over him, not reaching for him. So the same thing, would you say the same thing applies for Tank Dell? Like, you're going to take Devontae Smith or Trey McBride over him as early 4th?
I mean, I don't hate.
That's pretty early.
I don't hate McBride really anywhere in 4 or 5, but Tank Dell should be higher, so I'm taking Tank Dell. If Tank Dell falls to 5, let's say, or late 4, call it 5. If he falls to 5, then in my mind anyway, the idea of one of those tight ends falling another round seems likely. Maybe not, but I just can't imagine that if Dell's falling that we don't have this effect of other players falling. And if they don't, somebody else will. But I love the idea of Tank Dell as your 5th drafted player. Is that what you said, 5?
Early 4.
Oh, early 4. Early 4. Okay, I got you.
There's other moon men in my league, so he's a hot target.
Yeah, I love him at 4. Any 4th drafted player, Tank Dell's a smash. But DK, Devontae Smith, those are all great picks in round 4. Round 4's that's all. Those are all really, really good wide receivers. Other wide receivers I would take in round 4. To be honest with you, bro, DK, Cooper Kupp's not going there anymore. Man, we were getting Cooper Kupp in round 4 for a while. It was really, really good value. Just a smash. I don't know that I don't like Zay Flowers really. I like him at 5, but he's not going there. So it's like I just don't draft a lot of them. Where's Cooper Kupp going? I should say that in Cooper Kupp, I just did a draft.
Mid-third.
Yeah, that's a steal.
I just finished a redraft and he went mid-second round.
Yeah. That scared Scott, by the way. I would say Cooper Kupp in 3, and then I'm not saying I don't take Tank Dell in 4, especially if you went RB to start off rounds 1 and 2. You know, so you have Cooper Kupp, Tank Dell in rounds 3 and 4, and you've got Bijan or Breece Hall and Kyron or Achane as your RB1 and RB2. Like, that's a killer start. But
yeah, it's looking like it's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane.
That'd be great.
Josh Allen, and then hitting Tank Dell at 4.
Yeah, and if you get Cooper Kupp in 3, it's great. If you get a quarterback in 3, it's great. Either way, you're smashing the hell out of that.
All right, perfect.
All right, Viral, call back if you got another one. Appreciate you.
Thanks,
let me hit these super chats real quick. Joel, I'm not mad at you by the way. I just don't understand. You say, Smitty, you don't remember anything, and you're right to some degree. I've got the memory of a mother freaking elephant when it comes to, no offense on this. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but this is just me explaining my mind. I remember the things that I need to remember, the important important things, because if you knew how much sensory overload that someone like me has when I have 500 people, 300, 400 people in a live chat I'm reading. Right now we've had over 1,200 messages, I think, roll through some total on this live stream so far in the hour and 45 minutes. So not only am I reading so many different things, the human brain can't retain all these little details. Otherwise, I'll walk out and I won't remember anything. Like, you can only just in one ear and out the other ear. So whatever this conversation was, you'll have to remind me what we're talking about. You said QBs 1 through 4. I don't understand. Maybe you can explain the joke to me, but I don't remember it. $2 hauler, trade Mostert and Worthy for BT and a second or a third. Honestly, I'd rather have Worthy and Mostert if you can win now and take advantage of the Mostert value while you got it. And I think BT and Worthy are very close. I love BT. I love him, but Worthy's also in a better situation, even if he might be a lesser player. So you got to weigh out. I want a guy that's on a team that's scoring like Mahomes and the Chiefs. So give me that side all day long. Isaac, appreciate the $2 hauler. I don't know if Isaac also sent a message after this. Let me look real quickly. Isaac, appreciate you. Isaac dropped a super chat, and then he said this: I traded Aaron Rodgers, Brandon Ayuk, and Calvin Ridley and Watson from Green Bay, and I get in return Cooper Kupp and Brown, Chase Brown, I assume, play from the Eagles. Oh, A.J. Brown. Wait, what? Wait. A.J. Brown. Cooper Kupp and A.J. Brown is what you get. You gave up Aaron Rodgers, Brandon Ayuk, Calvin Ridley, and Watson. You smashed him, bro. You absolutely clobbered him. In fact, I don't know if we got to contact the veto police on this one, because this seems really unjust, and I don't think we can let this one go. I don't know where my veto police button is. I used to have it. I got to search for it. We got to call on this one. There's no way we can let this one go. I usually don't like to rat out my people, but when you're taking advantage of citizens like this out on the streets, there's nothing that I hate more than taking advantage of people that don't don't know what they're doing. Let me see. Where's my? You're lucky. I don't know where my veto police button is. I'm looking for it. I don't see it. I'll have to find it. Let me see if I have it here. Yeah, you got off on this one, pal. You got off on this one. What a good move. What a good move. Jay from Mass, I'm going to put you on hold here. Jay, hang tight for me real quick. Isaac, nice trade. Nice trade, Isaac. Absolute glorious trade. $5 hauler from the comic. This is for Swifty. Call out. That made my night. But Smitty, thanks for the handcuff squad. Appreciate you, comic. Thank you for coming in strong. Where is this? I think I have the veto police button right here. Hold on. Who's on the line that I haven't got to yet? Isaac, thank you for the super chat. I'm coming for that right now. Scared Scott, you're live.
All right. Just did a redraft, and I come back and have a trade offer in another league. And see what you think. McConkey straight up for Chase Brown.
I'm going to take Chase Brown. I'm not a big fan of McConkey's situation at all, Scott. I know we liked him as a prospect. I admit he was definitely a guy I was on board with, but I don't believe in the situation at all. I don't. And as much as people want to say he's the only one there, the next time somebody comes in and goes, Quentin Johnson's going to be good. Brandon Rice is going to be good, Smitty. Joshua Palmer is going to be good. It's not that empty. There's a lot of bodies there, and we just don't know who's going to be leaned upon. I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I in some of these redrafts, I've taken McConkey and then followed up a couple of rounds later with Palmer just to see who's going to be the number one, which I thought was pretty good value, especially when you were getting McConkey in like the 8th round and you could grab Palmer in the 10th in these redrafts. But
Chase Brown?
So, yeah, I was leaning that way myself with Chase right now. So, okay.
Chase Brown?
All right. I appreciate it.
All right, later, bro.
I had a pretty good draft though tonight.
I don't know what you just said. What did you say?
I said I had a pretty good redraft tonight. Want to hear the quick lineup real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Got Kyron and Kenneth Walker as my running backs.
Okay.
H.A. Brown, Michael Pittman, Chris Godwin is my 3 starting receivers. Trey McBride is my tight end. I'll flip between Love and Tua at quarterback. It's only one flex in this league, so I've got Coleman, Jerome Ford.
Nice job.
Sitting there to fill that. I think it's pretty.
Nice job,
yeah,
Scott.
It's a 12-team league, so I thought
anything scaring you these days, Scared Scott? Is there anything particular scaring you before I hang up on you?
Yeah.
What's he scared about today? What's scared? We need a song.
Really,
What's scared, Scott? Scared
there's
about
anything that's really
today?
freaking me out too much. I think I don't really like them. The older running backs scared the shit out of me. I don't know why anybody's drafting them, but.
So who's scaring you? Who's scaring you today, Scared Scott?
Who's scaring me today? McCaffrey. I wouldn't.
CMC.
I have 0 shares of McCaffrey.
Okay. I mean, understandable. 28-year-old running back with an injured calf. I definitely don't like drafting him. What?
He was on the injury report all last season. His calf's already hurt.
I agree.
His touch numbers are unreal.
I agree.
No, I don't see it.
There you have it.
See taking.
That was scared.
It's almost, and I tell you what also scares me is any first-round running back.
Now you're getting out of hand.
You're at the end,
Finish him.
Unless you get at the end of the draft, because your second pick, you're so far behind the 8 ball on the wide receiver.
Now you're getting out of control. Now you're just getting out of
number 1 wide receiver. It's almost impossible to do it.
Get breached.
All right, Scared Scott. We'll see you later. Later,
bro.
Jeez. You just tried to take a casual dump on Breece Hall. Breece Hall catches the strays now on that one. Mike from Jersey, you got 30 seconds.
Yeah, what up, Smitty? Just calling in again. I've been meaning to ask you about this one. Great video, by the way. I watched your tight ends video. Just want to hear your reasoning behind Musgrave over Njoku. I think Njoku's going to be a beast. He's definitely a little slept on this year. He finished number 1 in tight end points per game from week 8 on last season. And I like Musgrave and all, but he's fighting with 4 other top-tier receivers. And Tucker Kraft is also a dude. Like, you got to watch out for him. And Njoku's, in my opinion, all the camp notes and everything, he's going to be even if the Browns' offense isn't good.
Here's the thing you got to think about a little more, bro. Here's what I'd like you to focus on a little more. I'm not saying you don't make good points. Like, there is definitely an argument to be made, right? But think about this a little more, I think. What offense is better? The Cleveland Brown offense or the Green Bay Packer offense?
Definitely the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
But
Okay.
in the pecking order, you got
Okay.
Musgrave.
But what I'm saying is you're not accounting for the fact that Green Bay's twice or three times the offense. So when
100%, I agree.
okay, so when you start looking at who's this number one over here in Cleveland, well, it's Amari Cooper. And then who's the number two over? Is the number two option, even if it's Njoku, better than the number 3 or 4 option in Green Bay? And I don't think it's fair to say Musgrave is regulated to like the 4 or 5 just because he's not a receiver. Keep in mind that Musgrave in the tight end position in general is going to be compartmentalized in a way that's there's going to be a ton of targets there for Musgrave no matter what. Doesn't matter if they add, let's say they traded for Ayuk. Musgrave is still going to get a certain amount of work because he's going to get all this work across the middle of the field. He's going to get a lot of the safety net throws that are going his direction. Like, he's almost like protected. Tight ends sometimes are protected into a certain amount of volume. I'm not worried about Musgrave eating enough in Green Bay. I'm more apt to draft him because his offense is fire than draft a guy on a piss poor offense led by Deshaun Watson, who does not feel like he's going to pick it up and become the player even remotely close to the player he once was. I like Njoku. I'm not saying I don't like Njoku. You're not wrong for liking him. But you want my rationale? Offense. Give me Musgrave all day long. And Kraft has been hurt twice already this offseason. He's not even healthy right now. Musgrave's profile. Ziggy, how tall is Luke Musgrave? 6'6".
Luke Musgrave weighs 253 pounds and is 6 feet 6 inches tall.
6'6", 253.
Let's
go.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, Smitty, I love Musgrave and all.
I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
Not as much as you do, definitely. But the thing is, I just don't like him. Don't like taking him where he is. I think Kraft is a great option. He's basically going undrafted. I'm not saying I'm drafting Kraft at all, but
in fairness,
I think he's definitely going to be eating into Musgrave, and I think Njoku's going to be. The Browns are going to be down all game. They're going to be passing. Njoku's going to be in the middle of the field. I just think it's kind of crazy to put Musgrave over Njoku, especially when Musgrave could have a great week, but he could drop a 0 1 week if they're feeding Reed, Dobbs.
Would you watch the channel more if I was less crazy? I don't know. I don't think so. But hold on a second. For full transparency, Ziggy, how tall is David Njoku? I don't think he even knows who he is, though. Ziggy, how tall is David Njoku?
If you are referring to David and Joko, they are both around 6 feet tall.
He doesn't even know who I'm talking about. He's showing it looks like somebody from the 1700s.
Smitty, another thing about Njoku, though, is he's entering the prime age.
He's 6'4", 240. So I just want to make it clear, he's a monster as well. 6'4", 247. Full transparency. But we're talking about a 2-inch difference and more weight. So Musgrave is bigger than David Njoku, which is crazy. But bro, Njoku struggled with injury like a majority of his career. He has not stayed healthy. I'm not saying Musgrave was out his rookie year, so, touche on that already. But I'm just telling you, you ask me why I like him more, Musgrave, because I'm predictive, bro. I'm not here talking about last year. I'm not a slave to last year. Last year means a little bit to me, but it doesn't mean everything to me. What means a lot to me is what I see happening for this offense, what I see happening for this absolute unit right here named Luke Musgrave. 6'6", 250 plus pound monster, bigger than David Njoku. Njoku's a monster. And Njoku's an injury prone tight end that hasn't put it together for a long time. And he finally gets going. He looked great. But how does he do with Deshaun Watson? Deshaun Watson is not the facilitator that everybody thinks he is. And everybody thinking they're going to get the same Amari Cooper and the same Njoku with Watson under center is going to be sadly mistaken. Not to mention, you get in the end zone, red zone territory, guess who's sniping a lot of the Njoku and Amari Cooper touchdowns? It's either going to go to Ford or it's going to go to Watson, or then they start looking for the other. Musgrave's probably going to outscore touchdown-wise Njoku. I like Njoku, bro. I like him. You're not wrong to like him, but you ask me why I like Musgrave more. Not to mention it's a predictive ranking. It's something that's trying to get ahead of the curve before everybody jumps on this train. And honestly, bro, a lot of people said the same thing to me about Kincaid. A lot of people said the same thing. If we want to get even deeper with Hawkinson, I was the #1 ranker of TJ Hawkinson his second year out of anybody in the entire fantasy industry, and that is documented. I had the highest rank on him, and so everybody went running away from him after his non-successful year one. Oh, maybe he's not the real deal. And this guy, people are doing the same thing. Specimen. Probably better metrics than all of the other tight ends, including Laporta. Musgrave. Metric-wise, the most impressive specimen and unit of that rookie tight end class. It's Luke Musgrave to the moon. You're just not wrong for liking Njoku as well. That's all I'm going to say.
You don't think he can crack the top 10 at all?
Mike, we're going in circles, Mike. We're going in circles. You asked me, I answered the question, and you don't like it, so you're going to ask it 5 different times. But you're sure you don't like? How many shares of Njoku do you have?
I agree. I'm just trying to get you on an Njoku train.
Call terminated.
All right. Isaac says, gave away Aaron Rodgers, Calvin Ridley, Watson, Brandon Ayuk. I'm getting Cooper Kupp, A.J. Brown. It's insane. Isaac, it's insane. You absolutely lambasted your buddies. I hope it was worth it, because whoever this person is, whether it's a family member or friend, they are no longer that. They're not going to talk to you anymore, especially when the season's over. It's going to be a painful year. Isaac, appreciate you. Belichick yourself. You got anything else, pal?
No, I just wanted to bring up one part, man, about the Falcons, man, and how smart they are, and that, I'm a Patriots fan. For them to get Judon, it kind of made me upset, but Patriots is just messing up everything over there. And everybody was talking about that Penix pick, and now it's coming to look like that was just one of the smartest things to do. Like, they just killed it to me.
Bro, I said it on draft day. Genius.
Yeah, I know.
Genius.
It was just
genius.
Brilliant.
Genius. Oh, they didn't take our pass rusher. Well, how about we just go get?
Look at they just signed. Oh my God, they're so smart. They just waited, and it was like everybody's gonna laugh at us, but we're gonna show them in the long run. I think that was awesome, yo.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you come in and you get Justin Simmons. You have Jesse Bates, as this says right here, lethal 1-2 punch at safety. Just Falcons to the moon. Don't have a pass rusher. Shouldn't have drafted Penix Jr. How about we just go get Judon for a 3rd rounder and a ham sandwich? Boom.
A ham sandwich. Oh my goodness, man.
So yeah, Falcons to the moon. Falcons to the moon. Anybody? Let bring it in. Anybody that thinks that Penix Jr. was a bad draft selection, go get me a coffee.
Crazy.
And take a lap.
Crazy. What's the most important position in football? The quarterback room. Why not protect that for years to come? Genius.
No idea why people think it's a bad move. They don't know what they're talking
Genius,
about.
Bro.
You think the Falcons screwed up? You don't know ball.
That's it.
Don't know ball. It's okay. Not everybody knows it. All right. Anything else, Belichick yourself? Appreciate you. Hey, real quickly, let me ask you. What do you think about Bo Milton, bro? And the part about this that sucks is like you're in a box, like you can't use him. I mean, if injury struck, you would, but like part of me's like, damn it, why not start him in week 1 and just see what happens? Just see what happens. If he fails, then May comes in and is the savior. And if he doesn't fail,
Jacoby. It gives us more excitement than Jacoby out there throwing picks.
I just don't know why you wouldn't do it. It's not logical. That's why people won't do it. But I don't care about that. I would start Bo Milton, put him out there, and let him fail. And if he doesn't fail, you've got Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers situation, and you make the most of it. You trade one away. Obviously, if Bo Milton's a guy, you're going to trade away May. But, I mean, the last thing you want, and I'm telling you this right now, because I care about you, Belichick yourself. I care about your team. I want the Patriots to do well. But Drake May looks a little bit vulnerable right
Mac
now.
Jonas?
He doesn't look super confident. When he gets to the podium, he's like, yeah, you know, it's nice to get some reps. And I just feel like you shove him out there, and it doesn't sound like they're going to shove him out there early, but even if you wait till week 4 or 5 and you shove Drake May out there and he struggles at all, he's going to be looking over his shoulder at Bo Milton, and the entire fan base is going to be doing the same thing, and you're going to have him in his own head. You might as well go let Bo Milton fail, and if he doesn't, you're sitting on a pile of gold. Let him go fail so that Drake May has nothing behind him. His back is against the wall. He doesn't have Bo Milton breathing down his neck. I'm telling you, this doesn't sound logical to a lot of people, but it's logical to me, and it's how I would do it.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. I agree. You can only make or break him, man. That's it. Like, give the kid a shot. Let him see what he can do. I mean, I would rather. So honestly, I would rather throw him out there than Jacoby, man. That ship has sailed and sunk and hasn't been found.
Yeah. Well, what a good move, though. Rattler and Bo Milton should have been drafted. Both of them should have been drafted by the Raiders. They should have grabbed both of them.
Bo Nix too. The Raiders really blew it.
Yeah,
Bo Nix over there looking good in camp.
Yeah, but they couldn't get in any one of them. So, like, what I'm saying is, if they didn't trade up for Penix Jr. and Bo Nix, and they failed, they should have said, you know what, grab Rattler, grab Bo Milton. Let's see if we can get crazy up in here. And what did they do? We're just going with AOC. This is why I don't think Pierce is the guy. I think Pierce sharded all over himself the first chance he got. Unfortunately, he's a good players coach. Like, he motivates everybody, but like, he clearly doesn't understand what he's dealing with. If you're gonna literally,
it's gonna be hard to It's gonna be hard to rebound after that. Like, he put himself in a predicament that's an unnecessary jam that he didn't have to.
It's like missing your first shot. Like, I don't know. All right, we'll see you later, Belly. Check yourself to the moon. Thank you for the super chat. John, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, thanks for taking the call. Hey, man, in redraft this year, are you taking an elite QB in the 3rd round? Or are you punting that and taking advantage of the ADP, for example, where Debo's going like in the 4th round?
I mean, you see my content all year, John. You know, I mean, even on the show, I smashed the hell out of early QB round 3. But, I mean, everything depends on who is available when you're on the clock. You know, who is available when you're on the clock? I can't give you all the answers ahead of time, but I could say that 8 times out of 10, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts are going to go to me in the 3rd and 4th round, especially the 4th round. And sometimes, like, Hurts in redraft has an ADP of at least 4.1. Like, he's falling to the 4.1 a lot of the time, Jalen Hurts. I love that. If I could get away with that over taking Josh Allen at 3.1, I obviously like exploring that. If I could get Mahomes at 4.1, 4.2, or 3.10 versus going Mahomes or Josh Allen earlier, then of course I'm going to do that. But I have no fears whatsoever drafting an early quarterback, because early quarterbacks rule the world when they land. And just because they didn't land last year, people are running for the hills, but the year prior they did. And early quarterback, even in best ball, crushed the year prior to last year. And because it failed last year, no one's touching it. And when no one's touching it, they continue to fall and become even more value because everyone's scared of it. And it perpetuates the problem to a degree that, like, now we're getting Mahomes at 4.8 and 5.1. Last night in a best ball mania live on the show, I drafted Mahomes at the 5.1, 4.12 turn. And that is absolutely filthy. And granted, in a non-best ball environment, you're not going to get Mahomes at 5.1 like I did live on the channel last night using code Smitty, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. I can even put my team up here. This team was straight up absolute filthy fire. This was the team. I got Patrick Mahomes at the 48 overall pick at the 4-5 turn. Fields and Bo Nix is 1 QB. Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, Raheem Mostert, Blake Corum, Benson, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Hollywood Brown, Coleman, Wicks, Michael Wilson, Burton, Yoshi Voss, Luke Musgrave. This is just a screenshot before the draft ended. There's still other picks. But that's straight fire. Mahomes, Kyron, Jacobs, Tyreek Hill, Cooper, and these wide receiver rotating at the wide receiver 3 with Musgrave. Smash. Early quarterback is a smash, John. I don't know if I answered your question or if you're trying to ask me. Debo in round 4 is crazy. That's insane as well. Debo should be going in like 2.
In redraft this year, if you have the option of going Reed and Jaden Daniels or Purdy, Jaden Daniels over one of the elite QBs, would you do it in the 12 team?
Getting Jaden.
Or really any format.
Reed and Reed?
My bad. Jordan Love and Purdy. Jordan Love and Daniels or Purdy and Daniels.
I'd rather have an early quarterback. I'd rather have a guy that's going to score 50 touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes, a guy that could score 50 touchdowns than Josh Allen. Josh Allen ran, it's insane when you look at what Josh Allen's done. He's, in his 5 straight seasons, once he finally got through, the development year, 2019, QB6. That's his worst season in the last 5 years. He was QB1, QB1, QB2, QB1. He scored 15 rushing touchdowns last year. This man has rushed for where's my stat on that? I had a stat here somewhere. He was a top 6 QB 10 times last year, top 10 QB in every game but 3 games, and he has a top 10 offensive line projected. This guy scored 15 rushing touchdowns last year. I believe with Keon Coleman, with Kincaid taking a big step forward, this number 29 and this number 4,300 yards, these two numbers go up dramatically. 4,500 passing yards, maybe 34 touchdowns passing, maybe 35, 10 to 15 touchdowns on the ground. This is a 40 to 45 total touchdown player, and he's going to have 500, 600 yards rushing. This is an absolute cheat code. I love Jordan Love. I love Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels might get to this point in a calendar year or so. We don't know. I think it's possible, but you can't count on this production as a rookie QB, but you could definitely say, give me some flashes of what your upside is going to be, and maybe it flashes to something like this. But right now, this is the guy. Mahomes was QB 7, 1, 4, 3, 8, 1. If you look at his last 6 seasons, he's been an absolute staple. His worst season, second worst season in the last 5 years was still QB 7. He's got a projected top 5 to 7 line. He had 0 rushing touchdowns last year. That's an anomaly. He's going to have at least 5 to 7 of them this year. He could easily have double-digit rushing touchdowns. 4,500 passing yards. I say 35 to 4. I say 40. 40 passing touchdowns. Not 27. 40 passing touchdowns and at least 5 rushing for Mahomes. These are extraordinary numbers. Jalen Hurts, 3 straight years, he's had 10-plus touchdowns rushing. 15 like Josh Allen last year. 15 rushing touchdowns last year. And this 3,800 yards is going to be more like 42, 45. Let's call it 4,400 yards, 4,500 yards under a new system in Kellen Moore that's going to air the ball out, spread the ball out, turn one of those wide receivers into a top 5 overall wide receiver. This 23 becomes a 30 passing touchdowns, another 10 to 15 rushing. This is a 40 to 45 touchdown machine right here. These guys are difference makers, bro. They're just on a whole nother level. They're league winners.
Appreciate it a lot.
All right,
I appreciate it a lot, Smitty. You convinced me to go early QB.
All right,
Thank
later,
you.
bro. Justin, the Patriots were smart for trading Judon. The caller doesn't know what he's talking about on the phone. Don't you talk about my boy Belichick yourself like that, Justin. And not to mention, Justin, he's a Patriots fan. So he's just telling you how he feels that it was a ham sandwich type of deal. Now, no one is suggesting that the Patriots weren't in a box. They're rebuilding. I get it. But can anybody sit here and say that was a good trade value-wise? Not really. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible, but it was certainly outstanding on the Falcons side of it. The Falcons got an A+ in that trade. The Patriots got a C+, C-, just because they were in a box. What were they going to do? So, Justin, I disagree with what you're suggesting for Belichick yourself. He does know what he's talking about. Belichick yourself is a veteran caller on this channel. But, Justin, I appreciate you, too. You're a veteran super chatter, veteran caller, veteran fantasy football player. But check yourself, Justin. On Belichick yourself. Justin says $5 hauler, trying to pick the right Green Bay guys can be tough, but someone is going to win tournaments. Somebody's going to be a top 12 wide receiver. And this is why I did a Green Bay Packer video. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. But it's a great way to build your fantasy football team by consuming a bunch of the Green Bay wide receivers. And best ball works better than non-best ball because you don't have the problem you're describing here, knowing which one is going to be the guy. But if you consume 2 or 3 of these guys, these wide receivers, these Green Bay monsters, one of them is going to be top 12. Another one's going to be top 17, top 15, something like that. You could have 2 top 17 wide receivers in the Green Bay offense. One could even be top 8. And I don't know which one it'd be. Some think it'll be Dobbs. I don't know that Dobbs is the best wide receiver. Jaden Reed seems better than him, but Jaden Reed doesn't play every down. Doesn't matter. It's going to be a 3 wide receiver set situation a lot. And I like Wicks a lot. He's great too. Watson stays healthy. He's the number 1. That's been proven statistically, but it's just a hard thing to trust at this point. Isaac, what about this trade? I gave away Dak Prescott, Alvin Kamara, and Eckler, and in return you got Bryce Hall. Well, I don't know about Bryce Hall, Isaac, but I like Breece Hall. Breece Hall I could get behind.
Get Breece.
But, yeah, I mean, if you got Breece Hall and AR5 for Eckler, Kamara, and Prescott, you're probably playing in the biggest grandma league I've ever seen, which is fine. We all need those leagues. You did outstanding.
You've just been Smitty.
Absolutely annihilating your entire family in grandma league. I don't know how you sleep at night, to be honest with you, pal. Joe with the $5 hauler, 12-team PPR, 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex, defense, kicker. Draft 12th next week. What are we thinking? I like the idea of taking 2 running backs, so do I. I like Kyren and Gibbs. I like Hall or Bijan if for some reason they fall. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Depends on your grandmas and your grandpas in the league. But I think Gibbs and Kyren are fantastic. Kyren and Achane, I'm not even scared to do that. Barkley and Kyren, Gibbs and Barkley, JT and Gibbs, JT and Barkley. I mean, I don't hate any of those, to be honest with you. Those are fantastic ways to go. I think that in these particular leagues, there's a really, really good chance, even though, especially since it's 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, I think you're getting DK and Tank Dell as your starting wide receivers. Neighbors and Tank Dell as your starting wide receivers. I like that a lot, bro. I think you're going to smash your family league in that one. Appreciate you all for coming in strong with the super chats today. Ain't no Devin. Ain't that Devin? $10 hauler. Michael K. CPA with the 20 wad. E-Dub coming in strong. Nico, Alec, Mark Cleveland, Aldi, Dan, Viral, Jonathan, Viral, Belichick yourself, Woods, Alec, Joel, Isaac. Joel, did you ever get back to me on what joke I made that I wasn't picking up? The comic, Smurf, appreciate you. Isaac, Justin, and Joe, Realist, appreciate all your super chats. Any other super chats will be handled immediately on the outro. I'll come back and answer them if they come in. Just make sure you get it in now so that I don't hit the button and then it comes in. But here you go. One more time. Tank Dell. The Tank Dell special. Go to the Dell. Go to the deli. Will ya? Go get a Tank Dell special. A Tank Dell sub.
One Tank Dell special, please.
Coming right up.
Thank you.
Yes.
Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Live when big news breaks. In addition to that, and live most midnights while we draft on Underdog. And if you want to do that as well, click this link and sign up right here. We might drop like a private league draft on the out when we leave, or even during when I do some sort of draft. That way you guys can see me draft with community outside of this community, so you can see me deploy strategies. But then at the end of the show, we'll drop like a private link so that we can all draft together. Because I know that you guys like to draft together, which is fine. I just think I need to create, moving forward, most of the draft content around me taking advantage of the ADPs, not getting sniped and unable to deploy the strategies that I'm trying to show you. Appreciate you all. Deuces. Bill, you got 30 seconds, Bill. Oh, Bill hung up. Michael says fade Musgrave. Fade Michael's fade Musgrave. Tank Dell Pittman, give me Tank Dell. Tank Dell. Chase Brown.